If there was any question about whether or not there would be an olive branch provided to Russian President Vladimir Putin, we got an answer to that relatively quickly. UK Prime Minister Boris Johnson, at the onset of this event, was asked if he wanted to take off his jacket. It is getting a little bit hot out here at times under the sunlight, to which he responded he wanted to put on a tough face for Russian President Vladimir Putin. When then Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau saying, a tough face is such as taking off your shirt and being on horseback, of course, referencing that picture that has gone viral multiple times of the Russian leader. But it shows how far this group has come over the past 8 years, when actually just back before 2014, Russian President Vladimir Putin would have been one of the attendees at this event. It was the G8 at that time, and then he launched his invasion of Crimea in Ukraine, only for him to be kicked out of that organization. But we know that Russia is paying close ties and close attention, I should say, to these conversations. At the very onset of this event, Russia launching missile attacks right outside of Kyiv, one of the first times they've done that for several weeks at this point. But it shows you also that Russian President Vladimir Putin is keeping an eye on this event, and also how he's the target of their ire as well. We know that President Biden said that they will be limiting gold that will be able to come out of Russia. We are expecting additional deliverables, what the White House wants to call it, that is tangible action that they'll be taking against Russia. We don't know if that'll come in the form of sanctions, additional support for Ukraine, but we are expecting an announcement by the end of the week here on Wednesday when this event finally wraps up.
Yeah, Alex, how do you think what's happening here in America, all of the domestic issues we're facing, will affect President Biden's approach during these talks? Will people respect him? Will they be listening to him? Or does he have a black cloud sort of hanging over his presidency based on what's going on at home?
Well, the White House says that they don't expect the domestic issues to trickle in here. In fact, the most recent thing, of course, taking place is the Hobbs decision, which overruled the federal right to constitutional abortion access across the United States. 4 of the 6 leaders here at the G7 summit actually came out condemning that decision, which is somewhat ironic because those 4 leaders, by the way, are part of countries that have more restrictive abortion laws than those that were in place in the United States at the time. So a lot of people calling out hypocrisy on that front. But when it comes to energy in particular, that's something that a lot of people are looking at, because back in Brussels, the last G7 conference that took place earlier in the year, President Biden said that he'd be providing liquefied natural gas to those countries to try to alleviate some of the harm done by Russia cutting off oil and gas. It's unknown if he'll be able to do that this time around with rising gas prices back in the United States, not to mention a liquefied natural gas plant that caught fire, providing 80% of its total output to Europe. So there's questions about not only if President Biden will be able to do anything about it, or if they'll even be relying on his support at this time.
All right, Alex Salvi in Germany, thanks so much.